Coming up on Bear News, there is more to the end of the semester than just finals. Find out how to get cultured on campus. Looking for ways to volunteer around your community? We have an opportunity you won't want to pass up.
Greeley had a wet week with about 3.5 inches of snow and rain, but locally higher amounts were seen in the mountains up to 4 feet. Is there another storm coming? Stay tuned to find out.
Coming up in sports, how does weather affect athletes? We'll tell you all about the different factors.
We've got all that and more on this episode of Bear News. Don't go anywhere. After a string of losses for Republican frontrunner Donald Trump and Democratic leader Hillary Clinton, both scored an overwhelming victory in their home state of New York. With 60%, Trump reclaimed control of the Republican race and picked up 89 delegates at his home state, while Ohio Governor John Kasich fell behind with about 25% of the vote. Senator of Texas Ted Cruz brought in the least amount of votes at only 14.5%. Trump has clear momentum heading into the next primaries in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and 3 other states next Tuesday. He needs to get 1,237 to capture the Republican nomination. Trump speaks of how close he is to winning.
We don't have much of a race anymore, based on what I'm seeing on television. Senator Cruz is just about mathematically eliminated.
The Democratic race was competitive between Clinton, who served as Senate for 8 years, and Bernie Sanders. Clinton led Sanders with more than 20 percentage points. She picked up 135 delegates, while her rival Sanders gained 104 of total 247 delegates. To win the Democratic nomination, it takes 2,383 delegates. Clinton has 1,893 to Sanders' 1,180. Clinton speaks of why she thinks she has the lead.
Today, you proved once again there's no place like home.
The next primary election is on April 26th at Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. Student elections were 2 weeks ago here at UNC. Bear News reporter Nadia Huerta joins us in the studio to give us the update.
That's right, Liz. The 2016 Student Senate election results are finally in. Brandon Miller took the win for Student Body President with 323 votes. Michael Kelly took Student Trustee with 289 votes. The Director of Finance went to Anthony Scaduto with 558 votes. And lastly, Emily Booth took Director of Student Affairs with 567 votes. The Bear Pantry and the Dreamer polls also passed with the majority of the votes. Thank you for all the students who came out and voted. Back to you, Liz.
Thank you, Nadia. And students, also don't forget to vote for our presidential elections in November. The Native Voices Traveling Exhibition examines the concepts of health and wellness among contemporary American Indians, Alaska Natives, and Native Hawaiians. The exhibit is currently on display in our own Michener Library, and Bear News reporter Davis Gerbor is here to tell us a little more.
The Native Voices exhibit on display here at Michener Library features more than 100 interviews that offer a unique set of perspectives from Natives that both educate and inspire visitors. The exhibit originally opened in 2011 by the U.S. National Library of Medicine, and it intends to raise awareness about health issues that are currently affecting Native people.
When people visit the exhibit, they'll see the interactivity portion, which is each of the banners like this, and there are 6 of these, has an iPad positioned next to it So a visitor can walk up to the iPad and interact with it and listen to snippets of interviews that were conducted with more than 100 Native people.
The exhibition is now traveling across the United States, and UNC is lucky to be on the list of destinations.
Last November, I saw the call for a general call to host an exhibit and put UNC's name in the hat, and we're pleased to be the first of 6 libraries in Colorado that will be hosting this exhibit in its traveling form between now and 2020.
And UNC has also hosted a number of different events in relation to the exhibit.
We had a documentary showing. The documentary is titled For the Generations. It's about Native peoples as professional performers. Some of the health challenges that they've experienced and the challenges of being from a marginalized culture out in a very cutthroat mainstream industry. And then to accompany the documentary viewing, we had Rose Red Elk, who is an artist and performer, a singer-songwriter. She came up and did a facilitated discussion with us last evening.
So if you haven't had a chance to check out the Native Voices exhibit, make sure you stop by Michener Library as soon as possible.
I think there are a lot of different ways that the information that's embodied in the exhibit can really connect with so many of the different curricula that we have here on campus. And of course, I'd encourage people to go to the workshops and just stop by and enjoy the exhibit. It is here until, well, the week after finals. So this will be here until you finish up your classes.
Reporting from Michener Library, I'm Davis Gerbor, BearNews.
Along with Native Voices, there is a Holocaust exhibit display in the library. This exhibit ends on May 6th, so be sure to check out both. A wet week behind, but does that mean a warm week ahead? How's the weather looking, Abigail?
Bright, sunny, warm day today, with our current temperature outside at around 68 degrees, with winds out of the east-southeast at 3 miles an hour. Tonight, there are going to be light winds with mostly clear skies, with a nighttime low of around 38 degrees. Taking a look outside, we see not a cloud in sight, giving way to such warm temperatures and such a beautiful day that we've seen today. The grass is green, the trees are beautiful, and it's just a beautiful spring day. We'll have your full forecast coming up next.
Interested in learning about cultural arts and have nothing to do this weekend? Well, you're in luck. UNC's Marcus Garvey Cultural Center is hosting a Black Arts Festival. The festival will be held tomorrow, April 22nd, at the Garden Theater, where local talents, businesses, and organizations that are African American are open to the public. Special guests will include DJ Macadelic and DJ Squizzy Taylor for the musical entertainment. Straight Edge Catering will be providing all of the food for the event. There will be obstacle courses, arts and crafts, and flag football and volleyball. So if you're not busy this Friday, head to the Garden Theater for some outdoor and cultural fun. The Center for International Education hosted a Saudi Culture Night last Friday that allowed Saudi Club to present about their home to the UNC community. Reporter Mohammed Al-Namir takes an inside look at the event.
I'm here at Makki to discover another culture. Discover.
Saudi Arabia was founded in 1932 by King Abdulaziz Al Saud, who fought numerous battles to free the country and made it as which it is today.
UNC is a home to a variety of diverse cultures and backgrounds. Students had an opportunity to get a taste of different culture without ever having to leave campus. Saudi Arabia Cultural Night was an informative social event offered the chance for students to explore the unique culture of Saudi Arabia. Students also got to learn few words in Arabic.
And then how to say goodbye, we say ma'a salama.
The event was one of the many ongoing cultural nights coordinated by the Center of International Education. Cultural awareness is an important dynamic for a student to participate in, which Jonna Johnson speaks about.
They help international students get to share their culture with domestic students. A lot of times international students have the opportunity to come to America, so they learn a lot about American culture, but Americans don't necessarily get to learn a lot about their culture.
What's better than exploring the culture from its people? I'm Mohammed Al-Nimr, BearNews 98.
Thanks, Mohammed. Looks like everyone had a great time learning about a different culture. Sexual Assault Awareness Month is just about over. ASAP's events are far from done, though. This week, it's their annual Clothesline Project where they display t-shirts designed by survivors to represent their experiences. Their final event happens on April 27th. They ask the student population to wear denim on that day in support of survivors and a symbol of protest against sexual assault. This is a national campaign that includes participation by multiple campuses. Coming up next, after the break, the journalism program is updating and modernizing. Find out how the department welcomed the new changes. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Has someone made an impact on your life? Do you want to make an impact on a child's life? Well, Partners Mentoring Youth is a great way to give back and be a positive influence on a child's life. Partners Mentoring Youth was established in 1978 as a way to prevent juveniles from entering and re-entering the justice system. Over the years, it evolved into a prevention program for much of northern Colorado. They have 2 programs that you can get involved in. The first is a community-based program where you donate 3 hours a week to a child for a year. The other program is a yearly school-based program where you donate approximately 2 hours a week to help a child in a school setting. Both programs let you to help children aged 7 to 17 have a better life. Children who have had a challenging childhood, have economic problems, grew up with a single parent, or have a history of abuse in their family. Partners Mentoring Youth gives the children the opportunity to get away from the struggles and be kids. Even if you don't have the time to mentor, there are other ways to get involved. You can help with Partners Mentoring Youth events or donate to the foundation. For more information, on the program, visit their website at www.partnersmentoringyouth.org. Missed out on the famous Coachella Music Festival this year? Not to worry. UNC brings you our very own Foachella. From 3 to 7:30 p.m. this Saturday, the Residence Hall Association brings your local artists, poets, and many more. Performances from around campus and the surrounding Denver and Fort Collins area. Don't miss out and stop by Turner Green for a great music festival. The critics agree the Jungle Book will swing its way into your heart.
Jon Favreau brings the legend to life in this astonishing film that is fun for all ages.
Based off of Rudyard Kipling's 1894 iconic collective works, The Jungle Book follows Mowgli, an abandoned child raised by wolves who finds himself threatened by the return of the man-eating tiger Shere Khan. The Jungle Book is a loving work of art that captures the beauty of not only the jungles of India, but the extraordinary creatures that inhabit it. With a stellar cast including Bill Murray, Scarlett Johansson, and Academy Award winner Christopher Walken, The Jungle Book creates a storytelling mood that won't quit. From brilliant dialogue to a larger-than-life picture, The Jungle Book is sure to be one of the year's best films. The Jungle Book is a kid's dream rolled into a story that anybody can get enjoyment from. Although there wasn't a single scene shot on location, the movie proves to be a CGI masterpiece. There has been more than 5 adaptations of The Jungle Book, with another one on its way sometime next year. However, Jon Favreau's will surely be remembered.
The movie has a runtime of just under 2 hours, but there won't be a dull moment to talk about.
Need to get rid of sensitive office or personal documents? What a better way than a secure and no-cost method. Stop by UNC's 7th annual Shred Fest. They will be using Schaefer Enterprise Express shredding solutions for the on-site shredding. The event will take place on April 22nd from 11 to 1 p.m. in Kepner Hall. The event is not only open to UNC students, but to the general public as well. The 8th annual Women's Walk, Color Blast, and Celebration is back by popular demand. The 33-minute campus walk takes place this Saturday at Nottingham Field and is a critical fundraiser for women's athletic scholarships and UNC's entire athletic program. After donating a minimum of $35, participants walk the designated routes where they will be showered with powdered blue and gold paint along the way. The day of fun includes tailgating before the event, followed by the spring football game at 12 p.m. and a softball game against Portland State to wrap it all up. The special prize drawing awaits those who register for the walk by 4 p.m. on April 23rd. So complete your registration soon and know you have made a difference in our lives, in the lives of our student athletes. UNC School of Theater Arts and Dance launches their latest production at the end of this week. John Jory adapted the novel Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen into a refreshingly fast-paced performance. Shows are on April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at 7 p.m. and April 24th at 2 p.m. at the Langworthy Theater. This production is rated PG, and you can buy your tickets online or call the Performing Arts box office. Coming up after the break, Abigail will have your full weather forecast. We'll be right back.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Taking a look at our current satellite, we see not a whole lot in the way of clouds over Colorado, some popping up here in the southern half of the state, but most of what we've been seeing is the snow from last weekend's storm still in the mountains. And taking a look at the national satellite, we see a huge low pressure system right here that has a really textbook anticyclonic rotation that is characteristic of the cyclone that's pushing through the states in the north and is bringing some wet weather to them up there. Taking a look at our surface fronts, we see over in the Great Lakes states, you can see the low pressure system and cold front associated with that spiraling set of clouds that we saw in the first, just a slide ago. And then looking at Colorado, we don't see much for Greeley, except the rain and snow that is possible in the southern half of the state in the mountains. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast, we see a stationary front just north of Wyoming that might have the potential to bring some rain to much of the central United States, but keeping Greeley still sunny with a high pressure system located in Oklahoma. We still have a chance for rain and snow in the mountains in the southern half of the state. Taking a look at our current temperatures, we see much of the central United States is very warm. Here in Greeley, hitting around 70 degrees. In Denver, 66, Pueblo, 69, Oklahoma City, 77, and even up north in Billings, 72 degrees. Today, our average is around 60, so we're way above that at 70 degrees. Our record, however, was set in 1989 at 86 degrees. Our low today is at 36 degrees, which isn't too far off from our average of 33 degrees. The record was set in 2006 of 23 degrees, and currently 68. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast, we see tomorrow sunny weather with a high of 67 degrees and a low of 43. This weekend, it's going to be warm and mostly sunny with a high of 77 on Saturday and of 67 on Sunday. Definitely a great weekend to get outside and enjoy this lovely Colorado weather. On Monday, we see a change coming with showers and thunderstorms in the forecast and a high of 67 degrees. On Tuesday, partly cloudy with a high of 58 degrees. And taking a look at our snow totals from last weekend's storm, we can see here in Weld County, we didn't get a whole lot of snow, mostly melted the next day. But look, in the mountains, we got locally up to 4 feet. And that snow happened almost overnight for some of the places in the mountains. And it just goes to show how different the spring storms can be for much of Colorado, affecting the mountains versus where we are in the plains. Now over to sports.
Women's tennis celebrates Senior Day with a victory. Full highlights after the break.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
A tough weekend for the UNC's men's tennis team, as the Bears suffered a 4-3 loss to IUPUI Friday. The pair of Peyton Kramer and Jacob Sheldon won the only double match for the Bears, as a 6-2 margin. In singles play, Sheldon also defeated the Jaguars' Jose Calero 6-3, 6-3. Junior Austin Mayo played at the number 1 and defeated IUPUI's Jack Newis 6-4, 6-3. Senior Eric Schurmans played well to finish his collegiate career after he defeated the Jaguars' Marcus Nally 6-1, 6-3. The matches over the weekend were the last of the year of UNC, who did not qualify for the Big Sky tournament later this month. The Bears finished the season 6-16 overall and 3-8 in the Big Sky matches under the first year head coach Rob Gurdon. It was Hillary Walters West Day for the UNC Bears tennis team on Saturday against Idaho State. Walters West is the only senior on the squad. She won her first doubles match with partner Courtney Schultz, defeating Idaho State's Bacon and Chegmeyer 6-4. But she couldn't pull the victory out in a singles, as she lost to Webke Bachman in a 3-set thriller 4-6, 7-6, 6-3. The rest of the Bears sent Walters West off on the right foot by defeating the Bengals 5-2. Walters West ends a fantastic career as a Bear, winning more than 100 matches. As the Colorado weather got cold, the Bears' bats warmed up as they defeated Cal State Bakersfield twice Friday. In the first matchup with the Roadrunners, the Bears' bats sparked 9 runs in 4 innings. Dean Lawson supplied most of the Bears' runs, support with 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Fortunately, the rain couldn't dampen the Bears' bats in 2-game walk-off. Home run in the 10th. Ryan Yamain scattered 3 hits in the game. But Cole Maltese' lone 3-run shot in extras lifted the Bears to turn their second victory on the day. But the third and final baseball game canceled due to weather. That's not unique just to baseball. Either many sporting events juggle weather-related issues. All outdoor sports deal with one uncontrollable variable, the weather. In tennis, players deal with the wind as their main obstacle, and it's the same in sports like track and golf. In the more mainstream sporting world of football, you see the same issues, but only rare delays. You see these delays the most during natural disasters, but not even a hurricane couldn't stop Von Miller. However, as Coloradoans, we're built for the crazy changes that spring can bring. The weekends are some of the most intense times in terms of sports. This past weekend, the Bears softball team took the field in another Big Sky match-off against North Dakota. The teams played 3 games against each other, 2 on Friday and 1 game Saturday. UNC got 1 win, and ND took the last 2. The scores were 6-4, 5-4, and 7-1. In Game 1, the Bears made some early statements. Pitcher Jamie Radcliffe worked a no-hitter for 3 innings. Sophomore Lauren Page also gave the Bears an RBI double at the top of the 4th. In the second game, the Bears held a 4-2 head inning into the bottom of the 7th inning. Sophomore Lauren Page also hit her second home run of the series to give the UNC a lead with 2 innings to play left. Lastly, senior Sarah Fitzherbert extended her streak to 11 games, going 2 of 4 with a RBI and run. In the game, 2 loss. Next, for the Bears are a series against Portland State. There were no ruffled feathers for the UNC track and field team at the Oregon Relays. The Bears notched personal bests and qualifying marks at the event. Olivia Ayres-Perry dashed into a third-place finish with a time of 11.78 seconds. Mariah Zachary followed Ayres-Perry with a time of 11.8 seconds, placing her in 4th place. On the men's side, Jordan Medina came in 6th in the 400-meter dash, plus his 4x400 relay. Team took 3rd place. Besides these individuals, many more Bears had a strong showing at the meet. Last week in the NBA, we saw the end of an era, as Kobe Bryant retired as his 20th season with the Lakers. Here's reporter Stephen Rice with more about the Black Mamba retiring.
Slithering through defenders and knocking down 3-pointers, Kobe Bryant left a legacy no one will forget.
As a 17-year-old being drafted from Lower Merion High School in his hometown of Philadelphia, Kobe moved to the City of Stars. He'd soon find his own stardom with the not-so-small help of Shaquille O'Neal. The dynamic duo won 3 championships with the expertise of the legendary coach Phil Jackson. After Shaq took his talents to South Beach, Kobe carried the franchise for years with subpar talent around the superstar. Eventually, the Buss family and Kobe were able to lure the likes of Pau Gasol for 2 more titles in 2009 and 2010. These back-to-back championships solidified Kobe's place as an all-time great Laker and NBA superstar.
Whoa! Those are some really great stats on the one and the only NBA's living legends. From a living legend to a legendary team, the Golden State Warriors put together a run like no other. Reporter Efraim Madera gives us the summary of a historic season.
As you can see, I can't shoot as good as Steph Curry or the Warriors, but the tale started in a gym similar to this one. Oracle Arena is home to the best team of all time. The Golden State Warriors proved that game in and game out with win after win. What started as a possibility through 30 games turned into a reality when the buzzer sounded in the regular season finale against the Memphis Grizzlies. They broke a 20-year-old NBA record previously held by the Chicago Bulls by finishing the regular season with a record of 73-9. Led by mastermind Steve Kerr and MVP Steph Curry, along with a tantalizing supporting cast, the Warriors cruised through the season with no bumps in the road. The celebration ended with lots of tears and confetti, but the mission is far from over for Kerr and Golden State. That mission is for another NBA title for the city of Oakland. The Warriors continue their mission against the Houston Rockets as the playoffs continue. Reporting from the UNC Rec Center, I'm Efrain Valera, BearNews.
The Golden State Warriors might have played a perfect season, but one team is right behind them. The San Antonio Spurs turned in an impressive season. Once again, as they're only the 12th team in the NBA history to win 67 or more games in a season. It's no surprise San Antonio's been the class of the league for nearly 2 decades. Here's reporter Keaton Monier with more on the dynasty.
Credit for much of the success goes to coach Greg Popovich and center Tim Duncan.
This match, made in the heart of Texas, spawned an era of sharing in basketball which was heavily influenced by the European game and players on the Spurs. Duncan was a first overall pick by the team in 1997 out of Wake Forest University. Duncan's a 6'11" gentle giant who had a calming effect on the Spurs organization. Never drawing attention to himself or his individual accomplishments, his quiet confidence led him and Coach Pop to over 1,000 wins together. Early in his career, Tim Duncan was a part of a duo called the Twin Towers. This was him in 1987 number 1 overall pick David Robinson. But he's best known for pairing with the threesome of Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, who were a part of many of these 1,000 career victories.
The Spurs continue their title quest as they take on the Memphis Grizzlies in the Western Conference playoffs this week.
What a great lesson in sportsmanship and being humble.
Thanks, Amber. And that's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us this evening. We'll be back next week.
Until then, stay up to date on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, BearNews98, and be sure to like us.
Have a great week.